What is up, my friends? What is going on? Welcome back. My name, Control for Days. Today, for the first time in a little over a week, we are going to jump back into a Modern League with the deck Modern Yawgmoth. Last week I was on hiatus. I had to get moved out of my apartment due to a mold issue, but we are back at it, and I am happy and excited to have you joining me here today. Typically, in a given week, I get quite a few questions about this deck, about what I think is good, what I don't think is good, what should I play, what should I not play, why are you running certain cards. Today I want to talk about kind of the two most frequently asked questions that I've gotten over the course of the last 2 weeks and address them in today's video. The first of those two questions is Gemstone Caverns. Over the course of the last couple of weeks in our videos, we've run a total of 10 matches with the card Gemstone Caverns. This is the extent in terms of how much I've tested this card. Pretty much at this point, all of the matches you see me play on this channel is all I'm playing. I don't have a ton of time to play otherwise. So if you've seen me playing on the channel, that's as much as I've tested it. Gemstone Caverns is a card where the jury is still out. We've had some instances where it has been good. We have not had any instances where it's been bad as of yet. So for that reason, I'm going to continue to test it to get an idea of whether or not it is a worthwhile card to include, or whether or not it is not worth the inclusion, not worth the risk. I understand it's an expensive card if you're buying it in paper. So if you're hesitant to purchase one, I would say hold off for now and let's try to figure out together if this is a card that is worth running in this deck. The second question that I've been getting a lot over the last week and a half is regarding Orvar, the all form, and its inclusion in our sideboard. The reason that this has been a prominent question is because MTGO user by the name of Xerk, you may or may not have heard of him, ran 2 Orvar in his sideboard when winning the challenge last weekend. I will say that having been in contact with Xerk, I know that this card did not come up at all over the course of his challenge victory. And my personal opinion on the card is that in this deck in particular, it is not the greatest sideboard card. For the reason of, you can't tutor it into your hand when you need it. So you need to run multiple copies for it to be good, which means you're cutting other sideboard cards at the expense of a very, very narrow option. So personally, I am not a fan of this card unless you have the expectation that your metagame is going to be 20% or more of creativity, in which case I would say run it. But if it is less than that, I would say it's probably not worth the inclusion. But we're going to test it over the course of this video. We're going to see if it is worthwhile and if the inclusion of Orvar makes sense given the current metagame. Outside of those two cards, the rest of the list, fairly stocked. The 60 card main deck is pretty much what is popular right now across the board with regards to high performing Yawgmoth pilots, with the exception of one by the name of Demonic Tutors, who's running something a little bit different, but otherwise this is the same exact main deck that most people are running. Same thing with the sideboard. We're not doing anything fancy, anything unusual with the other 13 cards outside of the 2 Orvars. Besides that, before we start this league, I want to let you know this is the second time I'm filming the intro to this video. I've been having a little bit of an issue with my audio, so you might notice that over the course of the first 3 matches, there's a little bit of an echo or a reverb. I did my best to reduce it and manage it in post-production, but if there is a little bit of that, know that as the league goes on, that will likely improve, and you'll be noticing that less and less. I apologize. I'm working through it. Hopefully there's no reverb in this intro, but it is something I'm aware of and we're working to resolve. So I will see you all in the league. Let's get after it. All right, what is in match 1 of our Modern League against Schroff, CHROFF_07. We are going to be on the play, so we're going to take that and we're going to run with it. Opening 7. On the play, this is acceptable. On the draw, this is too slow. But because we're on the play, I think we're on the play, we're going to run with it. So we'll keep. Our opponent mulligan to 6 cards. We're going to lead on a Gloomy Marsh and then pass the turn. I think maybe we should have led on Basic Forest there. I think either way, it probably tips our hand in terms of what we're likely playing. But what are you going to do? Opponent leads Arid Mesa, fetch Sacred Foundry. I wonder if this is burn. Okay, burn. It's nice that our land doesn't deal us damage, so that's a good thing. We're going to take a hit for 2 here. I wish our hand was a little bit faster. Okay, drawing a land there is nice, so we don't pull it off the top. Let's see if we can pull a 1-drop. Not a 1-drop, we definitely don't want another one of those. We'll play out our Wall of Roots and then pass the turn. And I'm actually in a position where I can't really block with this Wall of Roots because we really need it for these Court of Callings. So we might be in a little bit of a situation, unfortunately. A little bit of a situation. Having this Dryad Arbor is actually really bad as well, because we would want to be able to use it to fetch to potentially gain some life, but we're not in a position to do that anymore. Alright, so our opponent leads Mountain, and then they pause into a Swift Spear. Okay. Hoping they cast something else pre-combat. 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 This is such a tricky situation. Let's see what's on top here. We have an Ignoble Hierarch on top, so we do have a card we can cast. It's just really bad. So if we take 4 here, we're likely taking 7. So we'll go down to 11. They have 4 cards in hand. The question is, do I block? Do I block? Oh, they're firing off a burn spell right now. At me. Wow. Okay, so that was before block, so maybe a lot of a mistake on my opponent's part. So this gives me information, saves my Wall of Roots here. I think they thought that we were past that phase of the turn, but instead I lucked out there big time. Okay, so we drew into our Ignoble. So from here, what I can do is I can play out Dryad Arbor, Court of Calling for Prosperous Innkeeper, and then cast the Ignoble and go back up to 14. Conversely, I can just play Ignoble, play Dryad Arbor, and then Court for a Blood Artist, which I think might be better. I can also just Court for a Geist, which I also kind of like. I think we might do that. Play out the Dryad Arbor here, and then we'll pass the turn. I also have the ability to Court for a 3-drop here. We could get ourselves an Endurance. Endurance isn't really going to do anything here. I think the Geist is probably the best. Or the Innkeeper. Innkeeper might actually be the best. Maybe we just line up our blocks and then Court afterwards, EOT. We'll see what they do here. Opponent's doing some thinking. Pre-combat. Lava Spike. Okay. Sure. So there's no threat of a Skullcrack this turn in response to us doing something. Attack, attack. Goblin Guide. Okay, we draw into a Twilight Mirror. Okay, from here, I'm going to Cord for a Strangleroot. I'm going to leave my wall back as a blocker. So I'll put the Geist on the guy, the Wall of Roots on the Swift Spear. Okay, and we'll see what happens from here. If they have another burn spell, they can kill our Wall of Roots, and at this point I think we're okay with that. They have 3 cards in hand, 17 life. Opponent is doing some more thinking, and light up the stage. Okay, so they get to look at 2 cards. Okay, Sunbaked Canyon and a Lava Spike, so they'll be able to use both of those. That was a pretty good light up the stage. Imagine they fire off this spike right now, put us down to 7. As long as our creatures survive, I think we're in a position where we're going to stabilize next turn. Opponent taps the Sunbaked Canyon, and we're getting spiked. Or are you killing one of our creatures? And they skewer the critics targeting me. Okay, so we're down to 7. And then they have the spike up for next turn. But I think we're in a pretty good position here. Another Wall of Roots is actually really good. So from here, I can cast the wall. We might even just have the kill here. So 1, 2, Wall of Roots. I didn't hash all this out, but I think we're probably pretty close to a kill. 1, 2, 3. Evo this Wall of Roots. Get ourselves a Yawgmoth so we can block this Swift Spear now without any problems. I'm going to chord for a Blood Artist from here. Okay, we'll lose one, we'll gain one, save targets, draw a card. Our best draw from here is actually something like an Endurance. No Endurance there. Okay, we'll put a -1 counter on this Swift Spear. Okay, Grist. I'm going to leave with an attack for 4. And then we're going to draw a few more cards and kill off the Swift Spear on our turn, just in case they have a Skull Crack. 6 back up to 7. Okay, and then we'll kill off this Swift Spear. So we have blockers back, and we do have a kill next turn if we get the opportunity. So we're at 8 life. So if they have like 3 1-mana burn spells, they'll be able to kill us. But if not, I think we'll be able to stabilize here. As long as we're not at 1 life. Alright, Spike, we're down to 5. They have something like a Boros Charm, but actually we just have a lethal attack, I'm pretty sure, so they're going to be hard-pressed to win from here. 1, 2. Is this a Searing Blaze? Searing Blaze for 1. Sure, so we'll gain 1, drain 1, and then we have an attack for 5. And now there's no way they can win from here, so we've got the win. 5 life, we have 5 points of damage on the attack here. Turn them sideways. Alright, up a game. Alright, game 2. Oh, don't submit. I'm going to bring in the Might just to have an early chump blocker. It's not good for its effect. It's more so just a way to have guys in the way while they're trying to attack. I think our opponent's relatively inexperienced. Generally burn, they'll take out a lot of their creatures, but I don't know if our opponent is going to be doing that necessarily. I'm going to bring in Endurance. I'm going to shave a Yawgmoth. I think I'm going to get rid of a Cord as well. And bring in our 4th Endurance. Do I like that? On the draw? No. We'll keep our opportunities open to find our Innkeeper and our... Ooh, I didn't cut cards. I didn't cut enough cards. Shave, shave, shave. Shaving Grists. Yeah, we'll shave a Cord. Submit. Oops. Alright, game 2, we are back. This hand is really interesting. I actually think I like this hand, kind of. I don't love it, but I think it's good enough to keep. Yeah, this is a really interesting hand. I'm going to keep it though. I might do this one as a keeper mull. We'll see see what everybody else thinks about this hand. On the draw against burn, do you keep or do you mull? Alright, opponent leads. Turn 1 mountain into Swift Spear, which is fine. Take a hit for 1. They have 5 cards in hand. They kept the 7. So for us, what's the better play? I mean, we only have 1 land, so that's what we're playing out. I don't think I'm playing out one of these Hierarchs. I think I'm probably going to leave a Fatal Push, because if I draw another land, I can go wall into Yawgmoth, and then if not, I can just get the wolf down. So I think we're going to go with this. If they play something like an Eidolon, that's going to be top priority to kill. Fatal Push. I like this artwork on Fatal Push. I think I like this one better than the original. This one's pretty cool. It's very, very Sparta, you know, for Sparta. For Sparta. Alright, opponent leads. Mountain. So depending on what they do here, if they fire off a couple of burn spells, we're going to kill this Swift Spear before damage. If they don't, which they did not, we're not going to. To preserve this for Eidolon, which is what they played. Alright, so kind of getting rewarded here. Kill the Eidolon. That is a must kill. We did not draw a land. So from here, I'm going to play out my Yawgmoth and then just pass the turn. I've got a blocker up. And we do need to find another land here. See if we get massively punished for the keep that we have here. If we can just get into our second land, we'll be pretty good. What you got, Troph? Troph. Alright. Sacred Foundry. Untapped. They take 2. If they want to fire off 2 burn spells at our Yawgmoth too, that would be a-okay. Yeah, I don't think our opponent's particularly familiar with the client. They are playing a little bit slow. I think they might be a newbie. feel like this always happens when I'm recording. My opponents play so slow. I'm just like, I just want to get through the league. Please, play faster. I get it though, when you're just learning, I did the same thing. It took me a while to learn the, you know, the ins and outs of how to use the client. I've got the NRG playing below my screen right now. I can tune into it while I'm waiting for them to make a decision here. Alright, play out a Goblin Guy, 3 cards in hand. They're attacking with both. I'm going to block. Swift Spear has the potential for more damage. What was our top card? A Yawgmoth. Ugh, that's not good. Alright, so I'm blocking the Swift Spear. They do nothing else. Okay. We will play out a Hierarch and then pass the turn because we can't do anything else. Would love for this Goblin Guy to reveal a creature. I think we might be too far behind at this point though. We're probably gonna lose from this point. Unless our opponent's sitting on absolutely nothing. Which is, it's weird they didn't do anything during our turn. They didn't do anything during their turn. I wonder if they just have like a handful of Path to Exiles. Like, we want to get these guys in play. Wall, Hierarch, opens up our cord, and then we can start going crazy. Then things get crazy. Alright, opponent leading on attacks. Let's see what top card is. Finally! But not the right land. Not the one we want. Okay, I'm gonna double chump block here, chump block here, and we'll yield. I'm not gonna take extra damage if I don't have to. This tomb is gonna deal me damage, so I need to do something. Are they gonna path my young wolf? That would be so wonderful if they did that. Please do that. No. 2 mana, Boros Charm. Okay, okay, they are preserving that. That is excellent for us. Excellent. Play another land. They have 2 cards in hand. I'm baffled by how high our life total is here. They play a Sanctifier, which is actually really good for us. Like, that's how they're spending their turn. Alright, we are going to shock here. We do have to do that. I'll play out my Wall of Roots. I'll play out my Hierarch. And I will pass the turn. So I think I am going to be blocking, but before damage I'm going to be courting for my Dryad Arbor, as long as I don't draw it off this Goblin Guide. They're up to 3 cards in hand. 2 cards. Canyon, draw another card, sure. So them doing this makes me less afraid of this Swift Spear here. Attack, let's see what's on top. Okay, drew our Gemstone Caverns. I am going to block and block. Okay. Then we are going to Court of Calling. Get our Dryad Arbor. Establishing our board here. Trying to, at least. Opponent has 3 cards in hand. They didn't bolt us, so they don't have... Okay. Okay, that's an interesting one. So we're playing on our Caverns. So I can Evo the wall into a Yawg. 1, 2, 3. I don't think I need to do that, though. I think I play out the Hierarch, play out the Yawg. And then next turn, I try to get the kill. I think that's the plan from here. So I wonder if our opponent's aware of the fact that Yawg, pro-humans, Monastery, Swift Spear, a human. The way they can get around that, though, is through Skullcrack. They can kill my Yawg if they have a Skullcrack. 1, 2. Rolling Vortex. Sure. Another land. Sure. I think our opponent's moving to attacks here. Just with the Sanctifier. Sanctifier and Swift Spear. That's fine. Okay, all 3, sure. Okay, drew another land, so we can get rid of the Vortex here. So on my turn, what I want to do is we'll move to blocks here. We'll definitely be blocking there. What I want to do is Hapatra and Blood Artist, and I need to have an extra creature to be able to use that. So maybe we block here? No. Okay, we'll block here, and then I'll sacrifice the wall to put a -1 counter on the Goblin Guide. We'll still be taking 2. Okay, I drew into a Grist. It's also really nice if we get an Innkeeper. Okay, Vortex will go down to 8. We drew into an Endurance. Okay, so from here, I think the move is probably... Okay, so I think I'm going to leave Hapatra here. No. No. I'm going to leave Innkeeper here. The reason I have to get Innkeeper is because I want to leave this Beseiju up. Okay, they're activating their Vortex right now. Sure. Sure. We'll get our Innkeeper. Get our Hapatra. We will not gain life because of the Vortex. And we are going to dump this Vortex here and now. So I'm going to let them fetch. I think we're in a pretty good situation. As long as they don't have like a handful of Skull Cracks. I have to do this now because if they activate this during their turn, it will shut off my ability to gain life. So I need to do it here and now. They fetch. Okay, worst case scenario for us is if they bolt the Innkeeper or the Hapatra. We'll see if they do. Land, tapped, upkeep. Okay, I'm going to price them into... I'm going to flash in this Endurance right now. I think we're going to get rid of Grist. I'm going to target myself. Gain a life, go up to 9. Sequencing wise, I did this improperly. I'm doing this now because I want to price them into being forced to do something during their upkeep, and if they don't have the Skull Crack, they can't do anything from here. So we're going to draw a bunch of cards. If I could draw into a Court of Calling from here, it's a pretty big game as well. Haywire Might, not terrible. Okay. Gain another life. Okay. So, board is stabilized. We're going to be at 9 life when this stack resolves. And there we go. And depending on what they do, we should have the win next turn. They're flooding out quite a bit. Draw into a Fiery Islet. Draw with a Fiery Islet. 3 cards in hand. Opponent is doing quite a bit of thinking. No attacks, sure. Moving back to our turn. Okay, Yawgmoth, not bad. So we'll start by playing out the Yawgmoth. We'll play out a Young Wolf. We'll gain a life off the Young Wolf. I'm going to Evo the Young Wolf into a Blood Artist. And this is game from here. So I have 12 life now, and the game is slipping away from our opponent. So we're gaining 2 life with every activation now. Cancel. I'm actually going to target my Snake with the Young Wolf here. I can't target the Sanctifier, but it's going to give me more life this way and drain them quicker. Yeah, so our opponent should be scooping here, but they are not for whatever reason. So our life total is over 20 now. Yeah, this game is over. This is a combo. You have lost, my friend. Down to 4. This is just a matter of going through the motions here. 3, 2, 1. Next activation will get it done here. And this will do it. 1-0. Modern League, currently 1-0, playing against FCP 27. We are going to be on the play. Let's go. Once again, opening 7. Little bit slow, but I think this hand on the play curves out nicely, so we're going to keep it. And I think I fixed the audio issue, hopefully. Fingers crossed. So, yeah, I'll find out after I record this match. Here, I can lead out Basic Swamp into Twilight Mirror, or I can go Foothills. I think I'm going to go Basic Swamp. You don't see Basic Swamp played out too often. I feel like Black has gotten shafted a little bit in terms of cards that have been printed for it as of recently. Opponent leads on a Misty. Okay. They have 7 cards in hand. They did not reveal a Companion. Second Chris, not really what we're looking for. Alright, play out our Geist. We're going to swing for 2. Opponent's fetching, not sure what they're getting. Steam Vents. They are indicating to me, oh, Spell Snare. You don't see that every day. Wow, we got us with the Spell Snare. The Smell Snare. It's probably a 1-of. It's like, alright, you got me. Got me with your 1-of Spell Snare. Gemstone Caverns. I think the best draw for us at this point would have been Endurance, fairly obviously. So they didn't play out a 1-drop, they didn't play out a 2-drop. I have to imagine they probably had one of those 2 cards, but here I think I'm still gonna Like, they only have 4 counterspell in the deck, so I think I'm actually going to jam the Grist and hope it resolves. We'll see if it does. We'll see if it sticks. I'm not anticipating. Looks like they do have a counterspell. Next turn, we'll shoot for another Grist. Hopefully that resolves. Go down to 14. Counterspell. Got it. I don't love just jamming Grist into open mana, but because we drew a second one, I think it gave me a little bit of a freedom to do that there. Here they're going to consider. I mean, we'll see if they have another counterspell on top. 1, 2, and they're going for our Murktide already. So we'll be able to kill this Murktide. So not the end of the world. We will be eating up our resources a little bit to do this. Drawing into a bird was actually not bad. Alright, so from here we're going to fetch basic. I'm going to get a basic forest. I'm going to play out this bird. So I can play out the bird plus the Grist. But I think we're going to minus the Grist here. And I'm anticipating this Grist is probably going to die. I have to imagine they have some form of removal for it. Then we'll see if we get the opportunity to stick our Yawg on the next turn. Or I can go like Cord into Yawg. 1, 2 iteration. Okay, what you got? Brick on a burn spell. Brick on a burn spell. Fingers crossed. Ragavan. So I mean they don't have, oh, so they can dash in the Ragavan. Annoying. Annoying. Ugh. Okay. But we'll get a Yawg to resolve, so that's nice. And then we just need to keep him off of Delirium to be able to keep it in play. Evo, not great. Never happy to see Evo in this matchup. Alright, Yawg's in play, we'll pass the turn. We're going to be put into a little bit of a situation if they do dash this Ragavan in one more time. I don't think we will be in a position where we can block it. Another iteration, okay. So they only have 2 card types right now. If they have a fetch land, that will put them up to 3. So we need to dodge. Alright, not a fetch land, so that's good for us. 1, 2, Shredder. Okay. So we're okay here. We're okay. So if we can draw a 1-drop, that would be best case scenario for us. Okay, that's pretty good too. Pretty good. They have 5 cards in hand. So I can go... Oh, okay. So here's what I can do. I can go Hapatra with the Chord of Calling. Oh, no. Cancel. I don't want to proliferate. Okay, so we're going to get Hapatra. Then from here, I'm going to flash an Endurance. They will get to draw and discard. Okay. They discard the Ragavan. I'm going to target their graveyard. Sacrifice. We're going to kill the Shredder. We're going to draw about 5 cards. Restock, retool, refuel. Right, Shredder's going to the graveyard. Okay. Endurance will resolve here. And we still have a land drop too, which is really nice. So I kind of want to draw an untapped land. We didn't stick it. Okay. So with that, I think I'm just going to play out the Dryad Arbor and then pass the turn from here. I have to imagine the Hapatra is probably going to die. Interesting game so far. Alright, Unholy Heat. We'll draw a card off that. Alright, another Hierarch. So, I mean, our hand is pretty chock full. Got a lot of stuff we can use. Ragavan, sure. That does nothing. That does nothing. Alright, moving back to our turn. Another Yawgmoth. Not terrible. Not terrible. So I'm going to lead Wall of Roots into Hierarch. Like, the prize here is Young Wolf and Strangleroot, guys, so those are the cards we're trying to really stick. See if they let this resolve. 1, 2, 3. Otawara. Alright, so we're definitely killing this Ragavan here. We'll draw another card. Drew another Yawgmoth. Okay. Play out a Geist. And now we have Yawgmoths for the next 3 turns. We can pressure their life total a little bit. I suppose they can... If they have another Murktide, they will be able to cast it. It will only be a 4/4 as it stands. So, in terms of racing, we might be able to race them. I'm going to draw a card off this Islet. 3 card types in the graveyard. Ragavan, sure. Yeah, it's not very good. 2 cards in hand. See if they have a counter spell. Another Wall of Roots. Okay. So I think we're going to lead Hierarch. And then we will attack with our Geist here. Swing for 4. And we're almost at a point where we can cast 2 Yawgmoths in 1 turn. So I think that's next turn what we might be doing. There's another Wall of Roots. And they are saving Counterspell here for this guy. And there's the counter. So next turn we can cast 2 out. So if they have another Counterspell, they only have 1 card in hand, so they need to draw into like Counterspell into Counterspell. 1 mana, Consider, sure. 1, 2, Shredder, sure. 3 cards in hand. 7 life. No attacks. We're pretty close to just having lethal at this point too. Once one of these okay, well, yeah, that makes it pretty straightforward. I wonder if we can just kill here. So I can go Blood Artist. If they have a counterspell, I think they have to counter that. And then we go into Yawgmoth. And then we can just chip down their board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Yeah, I actually think I like that better. Yawg number 2. They draw a card. Maybe I should have led Yawg. That was a mistake. My sequencing was off there. I should have led with the Yawgmoth. So they're going to heat the Blood Artist. Sure. Okay. They're down to 6 life. And then from here... Okay, they see it. We have the Proliferate line available to us, so they're dead. Moving on to game 2. Alright, we're going to bring in 2 Endurance. Go for the Throat. Fatal Push. Scavenging Ooze. Veil of Summer. And I'm going to bring in a Thoughtseize as well. Just 1. I'm going to go with the Xerk line of sideboarding here. I'm going to board out the Blood Artist. I'm going to shave all the Evos. And we're going to shave 3 Hierarchs. And run with that. Game 2. Opening 7. I like this hand. It's a very resilient hand. Our opponent keeps their 7. Spell Snare. Who does that? Who does that? Alright, nothing turn 1. Alright, drawing a land is actually pretty good there too. I'm going to lead... I think I'm going to lead Blooming Marsh into Young Wolf here. And pass turn. In turn 2 we can go Thoughtseize. If they counter it, we can Veil of Summer it. And then kind of get some pretty nice card advantage off of that. Play a land. This might be a Ledger Shredder here. Ledger Shredder, yep. So 5 cards in hand here. We turn to a bird. Bird not bad. So here I think I might actually go Birds of Paradise into Thoughtseize. They have to connive, and then we'll get whatever they connive if we want it. Bird, Thoughtseize, you can connive, discarding a Shredder. Okay, counterspell, iteration, another Shredder. I think we get rid of the iteration here. And then we fight through the counterspell. They can't double counterspell, so we'll be able to kind of play around that. So we're taking that iteration. Like having this Veil in our back pocket gives us the ability to do that. So we can go like Ooze next turn. There's the Islet. No attack, sure. Moving back to our turn. All right, we drew into Yawgmoth. Drawing another Yawgmoth there wasn't ideal. Okay, so I think I'm going to lead on Ooze here. Counterspell. We'll fetch. I'm going to fetch basic. They'll get to connive again. If they do have something like a Spell Pierce, they'll be able to get us here. But otherwise, discard a Blood Moon, sure. So they have 3 cards in hand. Okay, drawing that was nice. Counterspell fizzles. And now I'm going to play around a Lightning Bolt with this Scavenging Ooze. All right, there's another Shredder into a Bobble. We know they have a counterspell in hand. Discard a Consider, they have a counterspell in hand. Discard a Bobble. No, they have a counterspell in hand. I'm guessing they have land counterspell. Look at our top card. No land. What are they doing? Attacking for 4. We'll go down to 13 here. Okay, I am going to eat here. I'm going to eat the other Shredder. If they have a Bolt, they will get this Ooze. Appears they don't. Our best draw at this point is probably a land. So we can go like land into Yawgmoth. Hierarch, not great. Not really what we were looking for. So I think we just have to get Yawg into play and just start chipping down their board state. And then next turn we can kind of go crazy depending on what they do. There's the Yawg. And I think I attack with this Ooze. They block. Minus. Draw a card. And I think I'm actually going to minus again, just to ensure that my my Ooze stays alive here. We're going to play out another land, fetch, and I think I'm going to eat this Shredder, go up a life, and pass the turn. 2 mana into an iteration. Okay. Feels like we're pretty far ahead here. Like, we know they have a counter spell in hand. Okay, drew into a lightning bolt. They're going to bolt our Yawgmoth, I would imagine. Shredder. So all this is just going to keep growing our Ooze, though. We discard the counter spell. Writing's on the wall, that's not really doing anything at this point. And now if we can draw into something like a Grist, it's pretty much just going to be game over from here, I think. No attacks. Okay. Yeah, and that's a pretty big sign of weakness there. And we're going to go pretty crazy this turn. Alright, so I'm going to lead Innkeeper into Wall of Roots. They're going to get the Connive again. We're going to be gaining so much life that these Connives aren't going to matter so much anymore. Gain a life, play out the Hierarch, 12, 13, play out the Dryad Arbor, and now we can eat again with this this Ooze when we want to. This thing is a 4/6, sure. So this Ooze I can attack, will hit for 5, and they can't really do anything here. They don't have any burn spells up, so this will just kill the Shredder if they do want to block with it. Okay, another iteration, sure. How many card types do they have at this point? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 card types. So if they draw into a heat, they can heat down this Ooze. And this is going to be a Murktide, which is fine. 18 Murktide. Discarding a Blood Moon. I'm going to swing for 5. Sure, we'll go down to 8. Yeah, I think we're okay with this. We're going to eat the bird out of our graveyard here. We have 3 cards in hand. Okay, Court of Calling is just game. Yeah, this just does it. 4, 5. We're going to get a Patron here, and we'll wipe their board. We'll see if they see what's going on here. They scoop. 2-0 against CougarBen. We are going to be on the play. I think this happened the last league. We ran Gemstone Caverns in the main deck as well. You play it in the main, you're going to be on the play every single time. Opening 7, we're going straight beatdown mode with this hand. I don't feel the need to ship this. It's not strong, but it's not weak either. I'm always more incentivized to keep a hand like this when I see a peat land in it, because I know that's an extra draw step that I can utilize later in the game. So like after I fill out my board and develop my mana, I can crack that peat land and hopefully draw into the business spell that I'm lacking in my opener. Opponent mulligans down to 6. We're going to lead with our obvious turn 1 play of Hierarch. Pass turn. So turn 2, we can almost empty our hand. We'll go Wall of Roots into Strangleroot Geist as long as this Ignoble survives. Opponent leads on a basic forest into an Arbor Elf. I respect it. I respect it. So they're either on Ponza or they are on Heliod combo, which I'm planning on doing a video on sometime soon. Alright, Grist not bad either. Do we go Grist and just kill this Arbor Elf? Is that the move? But then if we do that, turn 3, I guess we can double spell turn 3 still. Or do I build out my board state? A little bit of a tricky situation. Wall of Root Geist, I mean the Grist is obviously better to utilize with the Geist. I'm going to cut them off of their development, I think. We're going to get rid of this Arbor Elf. Arbor Elf can do some pretty messed up stuff out of a Ponza, out of a lot of these decks. You know, I think the plan is to suit up one of the lands with like a Utopia Sprawl, and then just, you know, 4 mana on turn 2. We'll see if that was the right play or not. If they do something like Dash into Ragavan, that would be unfortunate. Doesn't look like. Looks like our Grist's going to survive, so okay. I think we made the right play there based on the way that they're playing out this turn. So slow down their development. That's actually pretty good too. Oof. I like it. I like it. I like it. So this turn we're going to go Wall into Geist. We're going to hit for 2. And as long as our Wall survives, we'll have this Besage up just in case they cast a Blood Moon. Would have liked that Evo. But yeah, we can deal with the Blood Moon here, which is nice. We're going to be expecting Fury out of their deck. This is Ponza, so something to always keep on our radar. You know, overcommitting into that can be detrimental, we'll say. 1, 2, 3, there's the Blood Moon. Okay, so we got the out to that. They have 3 cards in hand. Court of Calling is strong. All right, play out the Ignoble. We're going to swing for 3 here. 1, 2, 3. And I'm actually going to Yawg. Maybe I should have Yawged first. I'm going to Yawg right now because we can reuse the mana from the Court of Calling during their turn to use this Besage. So I'm going to take that right now. And I'm going to hold off on using this Geist. We're not going to be able to cast anything else out right now, so I'm just going to wait on it. 4 mana. Karn. Sure. Wasn't really expecting Karn, but I suppose that's something that can come out of these decks. And now if they have like a Pithing Needle, we will respond to it if they can cast it. And if they don't, I think they're probably just dead. Tormod's Crypt. We're going to respond to that. And draw at least 3 cards probably. Okay, drawing into some lands here. Drawing into a basic actually not terrible with this Blood Moon. Young Wolf. I think we'll minus 1 more time here. Draw 1 more card. Okay, Court of Calling. So that gives us the kill on our turn. I think our opponent's thinking about Furying right now. So if they Fury, I guess the question is, do we respond by popping the Crypt and then drawing a card? I think we might. They're thinking. I think that's the question. Yeah, there it is. They discard Klothys. I'm going to wait for them to announce their targets here. I imagine it's going to be the Yawgmoth. Okay, targeting our Yawg here. Respond by dumping this Besage on the Crypt. So they don't get a land off of it, which is good for us. We're going to draw an extra card. All right, so I think that just gives us the kill. I am fairly certain they have 1 card in hand, so they can't really do anything. So untap, plus Young Wolf, Blood Artist, Court of Calling, and we win. Up a game. Opponent scoops. Thank you, opponent. Thank you, CougarBen. All right, post sideboard. We're gonna get some Force of Vigors in the mix. We're gonna bring in some removal, some discard, and our Haywire Might as well. I like all of that. Boarding out. I'm gonna shave an Evo. Wall of Roots is like a superstar. We're gonna board out all of our birds. I think I'm gonna shave a Geist as well. So much I want to bring in. Maybe an Endurance. Like Endurance can hit Seasoned Pyromancer, which is like me, not that big of a deal. Can also hit Wrenn and 6 targeting lands, but outside of that, I guess Klothys as well. And with Klothys being a thing, I think I actually want Ooze over Endurance. I don't know if I want 3 Thoughtseize or 2. I think I might only have room for 2. And then with Fatal Push and Go for the Throat, I think those are both cards I want. I don't know what to cut here. Patron seems fine. I guess I can shave. I kind of want Geist to like hit down. I feel like I can cut another Hierarch, a Cord, and a Geist. Like I like Geist when they have Planeswalkers because it can swing right into them and kill them, but and I'm keeping our Young Wolves in just because I'm anticipating Ragavan, but if we don't see any Ragavan this game, well, regardless, game 3 I'm going to be shaving. This hand isn't great. It's got basics though, which I really like, so we're going to keep it. If they have a Ragavan, we're going to get punished, so no Ragavan. Okay. Alright, Fatal Push off the top. Okay, 1 drop. I'll take a 1 drop. I think I'm just going to lead on fetching a basic because I can turn 2 Blood Moon us, so we're going to play around that. Basic into Young Wolf. Turn 2 we'll get our Wall of Roots out, and turn 3 we'll have Endurance up. I guess they have a Utopia Sprawl here, so this likely means a turn 2 Karn, if I had to imagine. Sprawl. Could also be a Blood Moon. Okay, there's turn 2 Karn. So we're pretty far behind at this point. And I think this is what would have happened last game if we didn't grist down the Arbor Elf. I think our best draw from here is probably... Okay, that's annoying. Okay, we can get rid of that. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, so we'll swing into the Karn to start. Thoughtseize. Let's see what they're working with. Sudden Shock. Okay, so their hand is medium. Sudden Shock. I haven't seen that card in a long time. I think we get rid of the coding. I think we have to get rid of the coding there. Like, Karn is redundant, doesn't do too much. I guess they can minus this Karn and then recast another one. Okay, there's the Pyromancer. We'll see what they do from here. Sudden Shock, I guess they can just get rid of a bird, but you're trading down on mana there, so I feel like that isn't that good. They're keeping a Karn in hand. They drew a land, and they have one other card that we don't know about. Let's see what they do with this Karn here. Uptick, fetch a land, untap, 3 mana, Clothis. Yikes. Okay, they're churning. So I think I might leave up my Endurance here. Or I can go Wall, Might, exile the Clothis. No, I can't because of the Karn. I forgot about that. Oof, okay. So I think we just play out our Forest and pass the turn. And whatever they target with this Clothis, depending on what they target. Okay, Thoughtseize, sure. Yeah, the Karn is problematic. Bloodbraid, sure. Into Pillage. Ugh, that's annoying. We're gonna add a mana here. Okay, Bloodbraid comes down. Clothis is now a creature, which is annoying. Alright, we're gonna cast this Endurance. We're gonna get rid of their graveyard. Okay, they're gonna minus. I wonder if they get themselves a Tormod's Crypt. That's the card. They do have another Karn in hand. We're way behind. Being on the draw in this game was just brutal. Like, turn 2 Karn, really hard to beat that. Okay, there's the Crypt. So we're going to take a hit for quite a bit. 6, 7, 8. 8 probably. Okay, like that's all you want to do. That's fine by me. Ignoble. Ignoble is not actually bad. So I think we go... I wonder if I go Wall of Roots... Or maybe I just go like Ignoble, swing into Karn, and then they probably just let it die because they have another one in hand, and then I can exile the Clothis. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with this line here. I think they let this Karn die here. They're like, why are you attacking into Karn, man? Doesn't matter. Let it go. Ah, annoying. Let it go, let it go, let it go. You got nothing to worry about. Nothing. No, let it go. Ah, annoying. They got me. Alright, they're not going to let the Karn go. Not that easy. We'll shock. Shocking here is not great for us. And we're going to play out the Might as well. Just hoping to get them. So we know their hand. They have a Karn. Board state is kind of close to parity right now. Clothis is kind of the trump card as it stands. Can't really profitably attack too well. If we can pull ourselves into a Yawgmoth, as long as they don't get themselves Pithing Needle this turn, or a Fury. Fury would be really bad. Plus, do they use the mana? Okay, I'm actually going to block with my Young Wolf here, and if they want to pop the Crypt, I'm okay with that. Yep, that's fine. So our best draw from here is either a Chord of Calling, a Yawgmoth, or a Eldritch Evolution. Not Dryad Arbor. Okay, we're going to attack again into this Karn. I guess I should have played out the Blood Artist. That was stupid. That was a mistake. Okay, yeah, that was a mistake. I left a point of life on the table here. Poor sequencing. Alright, we're hellbent. They've got 2 cards in hand, and now with Karn they can minus and get something pretty good. 2, 4, 6. They can have 6 mana up, 7 mana. I guess they could get like a Ballista for 3. Probably pretty close to lethal if they do that. Kill, kill. So they'll kill there. They just plus, okay, that's fine. I'm gonna keep blocking this thing. No reason not to. Gain a life. Alright, we keep breaking on this. Yeah, we're gonna attack into Karn again. They have 2 cards in hand. Imagine they block with the Pyromancer and then make tokens, which will be more chump blockers. I guess I can't use the Might to exile the Clothis because, yeah, as long as this thing is a creature. So if they blocked with the Pyromancer, it would take the Clothis off of being a creature, so they can't do that. There's so many good draws we can have at this point. It's unfortunate we can't pull any of them. We have 3 cards in hand. 1 red mana. Cycle. Sure. Land. Tapped. Sure. See if they keep attacking. I think they... Okay. They're going to keep going. I think I just block with the Blood Artist. No. Block with the Hierarch. Okay, they're going to get another card. This might be it for us, depending on what they get. Like, I feel like a Ballista is a pretty good card to get right now. Ballista for 2, hit the Blood Artist, hit the Haywire Might, Batterskull. Interesting. That actually doesn't scare me that much. I'm going to fetch down to 7. We're going to get another Tomb tapped. Alright, deck. So many outs here. Okay, ooze, not bad, not bad. 1 mana, 2 mana, 3 mana, Endurance. So these guys are just going to bounce off of each other. Target themselves, sure. If they have Renin 6 in their deck, I don't think they want to do that. I don't think that that's correct. Okay, we're going to gain some life here. I'm actually going to use this Wall of Roots because it puts an extra card into my graveyard. I think I'm okay giving them a mana here. I drew another land. They shock. 4, 5, Batterskull. I guess they have Batterskull and they can return it to their hand if they want to as well. Which is why they shocked, and we know about the Karn in hand. So that's fine. Yeah, I don't think you can attack like that. Block with Wall of Roots. So it's just game 1. This is kind of a crazy game, right? Or this is game 2. We won game 1. So that's actually not bad. Thoughtseize away this other Karn here, which we knew about. And from here, we're going to let them target with the Clothis, and then we'll eat whatever they target. So they plus, sure. Play a land, sure. They're going to equip the Batterskull to something else. Okay. Drain 1, gain 1. Attack with a 7/8. I think I'm okay blocking with the Might at this point. Or do I just block with the Blood Artist? I think the Might's fine. Like, the Clothis is kind of invalidated. Yeah, I would really, really like a Grist or a Yawg at this point. We're 18 cards into our library. Haven't seen any of those. Opponent fetches. They haven't seen any Furies either, which would be a pretty big game if they did draw into 1. Now we're going to eat that. No reason not to at this point. Opponent's getting a little tight on time too. Karn, let's see what they reveal. They get like a Cityscape Leveler or something. EE. EE for 2 is pretty good. EE for 2. Alright, this is going to be a game. I'm going to let them kind of go through the motions just because they're getting a little tight on time. We'll undo. We'll eat that. Then we'll yield. Interesting, they're attacking with everything here. Now, if we actually draw into like a Force of Vigor... Okay, they drew a Sudden Shock. Not a Force of Vigor. Alright, we'll make them play through it. Going down to 2. And this will be lethal. Okay, game 3. Game 3, game 3. I think I'm going to bring an Evo back in. Endurance feels kind of medium. And I think I'm going to bring a 3rd Thoughtseize on the play. We didn't see any Renin 6 or any... Like, their direct damage was actually lacking. I'm going to pull a Young Wolf. I didn't like Might either. I think I'm going to keep the push in, pull the Might. And we'll go with this. Okay, this hand's a little weak, but I think it's a keep. Doesn't have any business, but it has interaction. They mulligan to 6, so this gets quite a bit stronger if they're on a 6-card hand. So we're going to lead on our Hierarch and pass the turn. So if they play out a Dork, we can push it and Thoughtseize them on this turn. 1. Okay, Sprawl is better for them. Better than a Dork. Didn't want another land there. So I'm going to lead on Thoughtseize, see what they're working with. Karn, Blood Moon, Blood Moon. Karn is business. I think we get rid of the Karn. And I'm going to fetch Swamp. and get our wall fruits into play. It's kind of unfortunate that this Pyromancer will be able to reset their hand. So like they see that I'm establishing my mana base, they might just discard both of their Blood Moons. Okay, they don't. That is fine by me. So if we can draw into a Yawg here, that would be great. Evo. So Evo gets us a Yawg. Evo also gets me a Grist. Do I want Yawg? Do I want Grist? I think we want Yawg. All right, dodge a Fury. That's the move. So I do kind of want this Hierarch to stick around. So I'm hoping that doesn't get killed. Like having access to double green is pretty important. So that's a little annoying. Let's see if they minus on our Hierarch. That they get themselves a land back. They do minus on the Hierarch, sure. Okay, so we will be able to kill this Wrenn in 6. Really want to draw 1-drop or a Wall of Roots. That doesn't do it. Attack into this Wrenn in 6, play out of Foothills, and then pass the turn. So if they draw into a Fury, we'll just lose from there. Most likely. Best draw from here is probably like Grist, Pyromancer, sure. Still haven't seen a Fury up to this point. Yawgmoth is a really strong draw as well. 3, 2. They discarded their Blood Moon, so we know nothing. Okay, Grist, Yawgmoth. There's the Yawgmoth. Okay, we're in business. And from here, do I draw a card? No, I don't think we need to. I think we'll wait a turn here. And the reason being is because I have the Fatal Push. So if they play out a creature that's relevant for me to be able to kill, I'll Fatal Push, I'll Yawgmoth, and then kill the creature. 3, 4, Bloodbraid, sure. See what they reveal, a Lightning Bolt, sure. What are you gonna bolt? Bolt my face, sure. 13. Okay, no attacks. Once again, I'm gonna wait on this Yawgmoth. Beseiju, that's really good. Beseiju is huge. All right, so we're gonna start by Beseijuing this Blood Moon. And then I'm gonna chord for a Hapatra. And then we can go crazy from there. Chord for 2, Hapatra. And now if they try to kill this Hapatra in response, I can just search out for my my Dryad Arbor. Okay, Force of Vigor also not bad. I am going to be conscious of my life total here. I don't think we played land for a turn yet. If we do get another land, we should just win. Okay, I'll play that out. And then we'll pass the turn. Next turn, we should have the win. Got Force of Vigor up, just in case they try to pull some shenanigans. They fetch, sure. Draw step. 6 mana. 1, 2, 3. Anger of the Gods. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That's a good one. That's a good one. I'm going to draw an extra card here. Okay, another Grist. Okay, yeah, you got me. You got me. Harbor Elf, sure. I think we're still okay here. That is crazy. Anger of the Gods. All right, Prosperous Innkeeper. We're going to start gaining some life here. 1, 2, 3. Grist. Plus Grist. Gain a life. We're up to 7. I don't think this Arbor Elf really matters, so I think I'm just going to let them have that. And we'll attack for 2. My biggest concern is my life total, and like if we get one more turn, we should be good. As long as they don't top deck a bomb here. 1, 2, sure. See what they drew. Karn, that's a good one. Whatever Karn gets, we will be able to deal with this Force of Vigor though. Karn minus, what you getting? If it's something like a Pithing Needle, it's not a big deal. I don't know what they can get to save themselves at this point. That's 4 mana or less. Ballista, so they'll Ballista for 2. Take out this Innkeeper, I would imagine. No, okay. I'm just gonna let it go. Okay, I'm gonna be gaining some life in that case. Play out a Yawgmoth. Okay, and then from here, I can just push the Ballista. I'm leaving Evo mana up so I can get myself... Do I still have Blood Artist? I do still have Blood Artist, so we'll get ourselves a Blood Artist. Kill this. Maybe I shouldn't have done that, because Blood Artist, it will represents an extra point of life to gain. Interesting, they Ballistaed the token that did not have Summoning Sickness. We'll swing into Karn, we'll kill Karn. Evo away this Young Wolf. Get our Blood Artist, I think. And we will pass the turn. Forgot we had this treasure token. Suppose I could have just gone for the win right there. Opponent says GG's, GG's. Got there, 3-0. All right, we are jumping back in match 4 of our Modern League Black-Green Yawgmoth. We are on the draw to, we're playing against Dies_2_Doom_Blade. Dies to Doom Blade. Our opening 7, I don't think we can keep this, unfortunately. Our opponent's mulligan to 6 as well. And our 6, I think, is much better. I think we can keep this, so we will. And likely going to ship back a Blooming Marsh here, I think. We'll just keep our business spells, keep our Court of Callings, and run with this. Hope to top deck a land at some point over the first couple of turns. Opponent mulligans to 5. We're going to keep this. Blooming Marsh is going to go away. Peatland represents an extra draw, and it's not going to deal us any damage because of this Yawgmoth that we have. At least when producing green mana, which our entire hand is green. So that's why we're shipping in that fashion. And I think the audio issue that I had over the course of this video, I think it should be resolved at this point. So hopefully I'm coming in crisp and clear. Opponent leads Scalding Tarn and passes the turn. And then I think, oh, far's pretty good. I'm just going to lead on our Hierarch here. We're going to ramp out a little bit and then pass the turn from here. I'm kind of expecting this to get bolted. We shall see. Hopefully there's no Renin 6 from the other side of the table. That would be a little unfortunate if there was. Imagine our opponent's probably going to fetch, unless they want to draw another land, in which case they wouldn't. They do fetch. Give us a little bit of insight in terms of what they're running. I expect to see a Steam Vents here. Nope, Basic Mountain. Okay. Mountain into Bolt our Hierarch. They have 3 cards. Basic Mountain, a little unusual. I guess we'll find out what they're doing specifically. They fetch with a Wood Foothills. Let's see if this is a Renin 6. Hope that it isn't, but it looks like it is. All right, so they are recouping their card disadvantage. A little weird that they chose to bolt there when they had the Renin 6, so given that happening, I'm pretty happy with that exchange. All right, we drew another basic. Because they're a green deck, I'm going to hold off on playing this Yawgmoth for now, and we're just going to play out our Young Wolf. Next turn we can cord for another Young Wolf, and then we can go from there. I guess this could be Creativity we're playing against. A little weird they fetched Basic Mountain though. Could be Ponza again. That would be a little unusual, just seeing that deck twice in one league. Time will tell. Foothills, they get their land back. They brought back a Scalding Tarn. So they've completely erased their mulligan at this point. And we drew into a 3rd Court of Calling, which is definitely not what we want to be doing. I am going to play out my Yawgmoth at this point. Might have been a mistake, just in case. I guess if we draw into a Yawgmoth, we're not going to be able to cast it, so regardless. Unless we cord for a Mana Dork, but I don't think I would do that at this point. Just with the expectation that it would probably get bolted. Alright, so it feels like Creativity with them getting Improving Grounds here. Drawing into a 3rd Court of Calling, definitely not where we want to be in this situation. But if they do go for a Creativity here, this will give us an opportunity to get a Grist on our next turn, which might be worthwhile. Tarn. Okay, it doesn't feel like a Creativity. Okay, Fable, sure. And now if we draw into something like Endurance, we can actually get a Yawgmoth on our next turn, as long as they don't have like a Spell Pierce up. So we'll see. And they brought back Foothills. So we know Foothills in hand. Cord for 1. Get another Young Wolf. Alright, Peatland. Not really what we're looking for. So I'm going to play out the Peatland here, and I think what I'm probably going to do is cord for a... I think we're just going to wait another turn actually, and just try to kill on their turn depending on what they do. Let's see what opportunity presents itself. Fetches, Dwarven Mine. Probably in pretty big trouble here. My hope here is that they discard an Archon and then go for like a Persist line. That would be best case scenario for us. We'll see if that happens. They do not. They discard 2 lands. Their hand is chock full of goodies at this point. Plus, get the Foothills back. Play it out. Okay, opponent's moving to combat here. getting themselves a treasure token. We're gonna let this happen. We'll take a hit for 2. It's fetching. Another Dwarven Mine, sure. And they can actually creativity for 3 here, in which case I don't think we will be able to beat that. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're gonna Chord in response. Let's cancel. Let's see what they get first. We'll allow this to happen. Okay, 3 creativities, or 3 Archons. So what I can actually do here, I can Chord for a mana dork, and then Chord. Did they uptick? Did they use their Wrenn and 6 already? They did. They used their Wrenn and 6. Okay, so I can Chord for 1, which I'm going to do. I'm going to get a bird or a Hierarch. This will give me an out if I draw into a Yawgmoth. We're going to Chord again. And the reason I'm Chording again here is just because there's going to be 3 triggers. Discard a land. Sure. Sacrifice. And we'll sacrifice. Okay, so we do have outs to win from this position. If we draw into Yawgmoth, we shall see. A Patron. I don't think that's going to do it. Blood Artist. Okay, nope, we're going to scoop. Moving to the next game. Pretty disappointing. Okay, so game 2, I'm going to board in some Thoughtseizes. We are definitely boarding in these Orvars, and I think I'm going to board in the Might as well. Maybe the Veil of Summer. Boarding out, I'm going to pull, I think, Chord, Endurance, Young Wolf, Birds. Let's see what this looks like. An Innkeeper. I don't think Innkeeper is great in this matchup. And we'll go with this. See how this goes. See if Orvar does its job. Yes, I would like to play first. Opening 7 is fine as long as we hit another land drop, so I think we're going to keep this. Opponent beat us on a 5-card hand. We did mold to 6 that opener, but we did shave a Young Wolf. We have 2 in our opener here. Just having a mass of creatures is useful against them. So ideally draw steps, I would draw 2-drop, like a Geist on turn 2, into a land on turn 3. That is what we want. Opponent mulligans to 6. Okay, they keep their 6. We are going to kick things off. I think we're just going to lead on a basic and preserve our life total here. Then turn 2, we can probably fetch for an Overgrown Tomb, as long as we don't pull a 2-drop. Bloodstained Mire, and they pass the turn. Okay, Peatland is fine, so that will allow us to cast our Grist on turn 3. We're going to lead with an attack for 1. They have 6 cards in hand. Play out our Young Wolf, Catacombs, which we'll be using to fetch for an Overgrown Tomb. Okay, they get their Proving Ground. Of note that game 1, it looked like they were playing a non-Leyline Binding list, so if they are in fact playing Leyline Binding, we will change our sideboard approach for game 3, but I don't think that they are. All right, another Wrenn and 6. They'll get their Bloodstained Mire back. Sure. We're going to yield until the end step. So our Grist will be able to kill this Wrenn and 6 if we so choose to do so. I may or may not. I think I actually probably will, having drawn that. Drawn another Grist. So we're going to lead by swinging at them. And now they're going to be in a position where on their turn they're going to want to get rid of the Grist, and then we'll just cast out another one on the following turn. Young Wolf, hit the Wrenn and 6. So, and if they're spending their turn getting rid of Grist, that's I think a pretty good situation for us. We still do want to find ourselves a 2-drop. Or drawing into an Orvar would also be acceptable. Play out their Bloodstained Mire. They fetch. Blood Crypt. Sure, they're down to 13 here. This feels like a Fable. Necromentia. Interesting. They're going to see the Orvars. This is a pretty big tempo loss for them. Get rid of Yawgmoth. And from this point forward, they're going to be on a pretty quick clock. Alright, Yawgs are getting exiled. There they go. Okay, Geist is actually a pretty good draw there. I was actually considering getting rid of my Dryad Arbor, evoing it into a Geist, but now I don't think we need to do that. So we'll start with a plus here. There goes another Geist. Cast out our Geist. Cast out our Dryad Arbor. In best case scenario for them, they get 1 Archon into play this turn, for which we'll discard our Evo. Maybe we don't even do that. Maybe we just 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, no, they don't have it this turn. Even if they did have an Archon, I think we'd still be able to win through that. All right, so they got a Fable from here. I think they're just dead, to be honest. Unless they have a point of interaction. But I don't know that that's going to be good enough. Okay, Wall of Roots. We can go Wall of Roots, Evo. This gives them... There's no blue mana there. I guess they could have a Veil of Summer. Okay, I'm going to go Wall of Roots into an Evo. We're going to Evo away this Dryad Arbor. So I could get Geist. I also could get myself a Blood Artist. I think Geist is probably just better. 2, 4, 6, 7. So this is lethal as it stands. We didn't cast a green spell. I think I'm going to... So they do have to block. And they'll go down to 1 life, and then they won't be able to fetch from there. All right, I'm going to leave with an attack here. And they're going to bolt. Bolt targeting a Geist. Sure. So I'll take 4, go down to 4 here. Plus our Grist. We're going to get multiple triggers here. We got 2 insects. Nice. So Grist being at 4 now puts it out of bolt range, which is nice. They'll discard 2, draw 2. Okay. Terastodon. Wasn't expecting that one. They can certainly bring that back if they'd like to. I guess that's the way they play around Orvar. And they scoop. Okay. Game 3. Next card was a Chord into an Orvar. So we're going to keep Orvar in the deck. We're going to... They know what we're playing here. They know what we're doing. So I think probably just keep it the same. Maybe I shave 1 more Young Wolf for an Endurance, a second Endurance. And we'll go with that. Feels a lot better being on the play in this matchup as opposed to being on the draw. Don't hate this hand. Don't love it. Don't hate it. We do know about Necromentia. Our opponent, they keep a 7. We'll keep this. Let's see how it goes. I think we've had Dryad Arbor in every one of our openers, or at least it's felt that way. All right, Blood Crypt. So this feels like a Thoughtseize. I think they're probably going to Thoughtseize our Thoughtseize. That would be my guess. Yes. Okay, turn 1. Another Wall of Roots. That's fine. We'll play out our land, and then we will pass. So turn 2, we can go Wall. Turn 3, if we draw another land, we can go Wall into Geist. And then turn 4, we'll have a Yawg, as long as we don't get Necroed. This is a Wrenn and 6, that would be annoying. No Wrenn and 6, okay. We're cool with that. Bitter Reunion. So this could turn into a turn 3 Archon. We're gonna get an Overgrown Tomb tapped. So best draws from here, Endurance or an Orvar. So that's what we're hoping for. And that is neither. So from here, just because of the prospect of... So if they have a Persist, that might just be game. If they have a Persist, we can go Geist. They'll be able to get rid of the Geist. Then we can go double Wall of Roots. I think we have to go Geist here, unfortunately. I guess alternatively, I could just play out the Peatland. But it feels kind of weak, just like looking for a 4 outer. It's like 8%-ish to hit. Is this a Persist? It is a Persist. We're going to get rid of the Dryad Arbor here. Hopefully they don't have another land. We'll sacrifice. We'll discard. All right, no land. Okay. That is okay. That is better than the alternative. All right, Orvar? Not an Orvar. All right, so we can play out Wall of Roots. So we can go Wall of Roots, 1, 2, into Wall of Roots. Is that our best chance of winning? Wall of Roots into Wall of Roots. Once again, Orvar's a 2 outer, which is 4% to hit, which I don't think is great. We're gonna take a hit for 8, so we're gonna go, our life total is basically gonna be cut in half. And then if they have like creativity for another Archon, we'll just lose from there. Like, do we have to get lucky here to win? I think I'm gonna go Wall of Roots into Wall of Roots here. I don't know if this is the right play, but I think it's very close. If they do have a creativity though, we're just dead. If they can get another Archon into play, we're in trouble. So we're gonna sacrifice the lower Wall of Roots. We'll play out our Yawg next turn and then hope that that's good enough. Okay, we're going down to 7 here. Guess we could also find ourselves a Grist. Not convinced that that's enough to stabilize though. I don't know that they have another land just because they played the mine out tapped last turn. Another Thoughtseize, pretty good. Okay, so from here we need to draw Orvar, Grist, something like that. 1 mana. It's just gonna be a bolt on our Geist here. Is not it. All right, we lose. All right, match 5, Modern League. We are currently 3-1. Ivan Draw Go is our opponent. We are going to be on the play. Let's get after it. Opponent reveals a Gigantha. Opening 7 very clearly we cannot keep. We will ship that back. 6-card hand is very weak, but we will keep this, and I think we will ship back the Gemstone Caverns. And we are going to leave Birds of Paradise. Pass the turn. I expect this to die on their turn. They're playing a Gigantha deck, so chances are they have some form of removal for this. For the Catacombs, Swamp, Cookbook. Okay. Okay. That was a pretty good draw. So we'll go Wall of Roots here. Wooded Foothills. And I think there's a chance we can get a Yawg into play next turn, depending on what they do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so we can get Yawg in play next turn, so I think that's what we're going to shoot for. So we'll see how they sequence their turn here. Okay. Yeah, so this is that deck. So it might be a change of plans here. Goryo's Vengeance. They're going to draw a bunch of cards. We'll see what they keep. So we'll get an Emrakul, a Thoughtseize, and a Blooming Marsh. Okay. So we're going to take a hit for 7. This is not the end of the world. Sure. Now the question is, can we deal with an Emrakul next turn? We let that thing get exiled. And we're going to fetch. I think we're going to get Forest. We're going to preserve our life a little bit. We'll get our Dryad Arbor. Endurance. That is not bad. Not bad, not bad. If they lead Thoughtseize, though, that will cut us off of being able to use that. But might be priced into that. Okay, so we'll see what they do on their turn. Okay, Saga goes up to 2. Them drawing Blooming Marsh, so they can go, if they have Goryos, they can discard the Emrakul, Goryos, and Thoughtseize all in one turn here. I guess the line might just be to leave up Court of Calling. Like if they Thoughtseize us, we let this happen. Okay, they take the Cord. Second Cookbook, sure. Cookbook, discard a Profane Tutor. So to me this says they have an Asmo, which they do. And now they can start chopping down our board state. So little unfortunate. They got themselves another Cookbook. I guess we knew about the Blooming Marsh, so maybe I played around that incorrectly. Okay, so I actually think this is the improper card to hit. I think they actually want to hit the Birds of Paradise just in case we draw into a Yawg. Get an Overgrown Tomb here. Moving back to our turn. Drew another land. Not very good. We will pass the turn. Kind of stuck in this holding pattern with this Endurance here. Maybe I made an improper play, but I was fearful of the Emrakul, but I guess maybe the chances of them having a Goryos wasn't that high. Okay, they're going to make a Construct. They have a 3/3. They'll get themselves another Cookbook. Brainstone. Okay, sure. Play out a land. Third Cookbook. Cookbook Schoolar. 3 cards in hand. Interesting, they're attacking for 3 here. I think I just throw this Endurance in the way? I think I'm going to take the bait. We'll shuffle our stuff back. Okay. So here they're going to discard 2. And they're going to kill my Endurance. Yeah, so they didn't have it. This is a fine trade, though. We're okay with this. We'll take a hit for 3. We'll go down to 8. We'll go down to 7. We're going to fetch. Overgrown Tomb. Okay, that's not bad. So that gives us some blockers here. Get ourselves a Grist. And then the question is from here, do we hit the Construct? Do we hit the Asmo? Hit the Asmo, block the Construct, and just try to stabilize from there? I think we're going to hit the Asmo. No, I think I'm going to plus for 1 turn here. Oh, we hit a double. Nice. Triple. Nice. Ooh, feels good. All right, so that's a good situation. Triple Grist hit. Very nice. Brainstone, sure. All right, Yawg off the top. That's what we want. Emrakul. Fetch. This feels like we're getting Emrakul here. Profane Tutor. Okay, so we got 2 turns. 2 turns to make something happen. Why did they reveal an Emrakul? I don't know why they revealed an Emrakul. Okay, they're attacking into Grist. So I can just chump block the Asmo down. I wonder if that's worth it. Probably not. Block. Block? Is this worth it? I think this might be worth it. We're going to go with this. kill the Asmo, chump block the construct, move back to our turn. Still no Yawg. Okay, from here, I think I'm just gonna keep making chump blockers. Play out a land, pass the turn. Profane Tutor goes down to 1. Attacking at me. Yeah, we'll block. Back to my turn. Cord, that is a really good draw. So we'll create an insect and then pass the turn. So if they like Profane Tutor for a Goryos, we'll be able to cord and get rid of the whatever it is they put into their graveyard. Okay, let's see what they got. They have 4 cards in hand. Emrakul, sure. Goryo's Vengence. Done. Court of Calling for 3. Get our second Endurance. And we'll target them. So if they do have another... Well, I guess this is targeted, so they can't do that. Goryo's Whiffs. Get a food token. Another Profane Tutor. Sure. They have a 5/5 here. We'll block that. Really would love to see a Yawg at this point. Really, really like to get things moving. That is not a Yawg. Okay, I think I'm going to get rid of this construct. I need to start being aggressive. I'm going to hold this Gemstone Caverns just to make them think about it for a moment. Tutor. Tutor's going to come off suspend next turn. Thoughtseize. We got nothing. They have 1 card in hand. So if they have a Fatty in hand, or if they have a Goryo's Vengeance, they'll be able to assemble their combo again next turn. All right, we got 7 creatures. Lead with an attack here. Could just be dead on the following turn. Interesting they didn't put the Gigantha to hand. We'll plus Caverns. Grist Ultimate is close to putting up lethal here. They gain some life. Okay. Let's see what they get with the Profane Tutor. Imagine probably like another Goryo's Vengeance. Look through quite a few cards. Haven't found a Yawg. All right. Are we dead? That is the question. Saga. Okay, we're not dead. Not really what we're looking for. We'll start with an attack for 4. Plus our Grist. And I'm going to play out a fetch land. We have 1 more land to fetch, I believe. Yeah, we have our basic swamp. Saga goes up to 2. I wonder if that's what they tutored for. Another land. Got fetch upkeep here. We're going down a 6 life. Swamp. A lot of really good hits. Patron, not really one of them. So Saga would make a 4/4. 9 creatures. 12, 10. I guess they can gain life at any point with these cookbooks, so. Plus with the Grist. Play out our Patra. And pass the turn. Now I guess if they find something like a Shadow Spear, that's going to put us in a bit of a predicament. They make another construct, they get themselves a Shadow Spear, they make a bunch of food. Alright, they don't have a Shadow Spear. Brainstone, sure. Firing that off right off the bat. 5 cards, they'll go back down to 3 cards. Another Profane Tutor. It's like their 3rd or their 4th one of the game. They have 2 cards in hand. We're so close to lethal. We might actually have lethal on this turn. I think we do. This should just do it. We won. We're up a game. Wow. Cool. All right, game 2. I'm going to look up this deck list right now. So post sideboard, they're going to bring in Leyline of Sanctity, I think. They also have Through the Breach. So cards we need to have on our radar. I'm going to bring in Force of Vigors for sure. Go for the Throat. Thoughtseize. I'm going to bring in quite a bit here. And I'm going to bring in Endurance just to have an extra little bit of protection. I'm going to shave on Court of Callings. I'm definitely going to shave Young Wolves here. Innkeeper, not really what this game is about. Hepatra, not really what this game is about. I think I'm going to go down to 2 Thoughtseizes, 3 Force of Vigors. Still have a lot of cards. I think I might just shave all of our chords. It just might be too slow. Maybe I'll leave 1 in. Shave. No, I can probably afford to shave some Mana Dork, so maybe we shave 2 Wall of Roots. Bring back a chord and an extra Thoughtseize. Maybe Hepatra is worthwhile. Shave down another Wolf. I'm going to shave down another Wolf. Oh, I accidentally submitted a 61 card deck. I thought I pulled that Wolf, but I did not. All right, this opening 7, I don't think we can keep this. I think this is just too slow. We're going to mulligan. And we will keep this 6. And we're going to get rid of, I think a Force of Vigor. All right, double ley line. We got the answers. We have the remedy to that. So turn one, I'm gonna lead on my bird here, I think. Maybe that's wrong. Maybe I lead on Thoughtseize and then pitch the bird to the Force of Vigor if I need to. Brutality. Okay, I don't think we really care too much about these ley lines, so we'll let them hit the Force of Vigor if they want to. Oh, they didn't actually discard it. Okay, sure. I'm gonna Thoughtseize them, see what they're working with. Then we're gonna play out this Tomb tapped. All right, Asmo, Cookbook. I think we're gonna get rid of the Cookbook. Play out the Tomb tapped, pass the turn. Profane Tutor, okay. So we'll be able to get our grist cooking here. We got a Yawg, also pretty good if we can get it online. Definitely want to draw into a land here. All right, we just milled the land, so we're not gonna draw that one. Tutor is gonna go down to 1. All right, and nothing. All right, deck. Caverns. Okay, so that gets us Yawg into play. So we're gonna lead on a plus. Here goes our basic. Swing for 1. We're gonna play out our Yawg and then we'll pass the turn. Let's see what they got. They got 3 cards in hand. We know Asmo, we know Emrakul. So if they have like land and breach, Cookbook, yes. Okay, do they have a breach? Emrakul. Or Goryos, I mean. All right, there's the Goryos. We're at 18. We can actually survive a hit from this. So I wonder if we just take this. I think we're just gonna take this. Okay, they're actually attacking at grist. Okay, take nothing. Okay, we're gonna attack for 2. And from here, I think I'm gonna get my Dryad Arbor and then play out Blood Artist next turn. Got 2 cookbooks, but they don't actually have anything to use with them. All right, they're letting us untap. Very nice of them. Now we have the Force, which is nice. All right, I have to lead off pre-combat just in case they kill this with the Asmo here. We'll swing for 2. Upkeep. We're gonna get rid of both these cookbooks. All right, we're cooking. Yawgmoth, this is a tough card for these decks to deal with. They'll hit us for 3. That's fine. Let me turn off auto yields. To me, this says they might have drawn into a Thoughtseize. We'll see if that's the case. No. Okay, if we can find a green source here, we can play out our Geist. No green source. I think it might actually be worthwhile. Dump this down right now. Wall of Roots. Okay. Attack them down to 11. The race is on. Hierarch, not bad. So that bolsters our attack, and it's going to get rid of the Asmo, and it can produce mana for us. 8 to 11. Okay, opponent has a Saga. We will be able to deal with that in 2 turns. Take it for 1. We'll go down to 10. That's fine. Brutality. We'll kill the Asmo now. Drew into a Misty. Not bad. Another Chord of Calling. I believe we have 1 land left. We do. 1 fetchable. Get our Wall of Roots out. We'll swing for 2 right now. The reason I'm doing this way is because I want to get the Might so I can get rid of this Saga. Because that's going to be causing an issue if they can get another cookbook. Okay, that actually might not be as big of an issue now that we have an Endurance. Maybe I let them do that? 1, 2. Yeah, I think I'd probably just get rid of this now. Okay, they get themselves a 1/1. That's fine. Like, not a big deal. Not really in a position to attack. Play out this Hierarch. I'll attack for 3. Then I'll also have Endurance up on their turn. So I think it's going to be pretty hard for them to get out of this situation. Don't know what they could possibly have. Profane Tutor, sure. I'm actually going to use my Chord here. And I think we'll get a Patra. And we're going to swing for lethal. We got there. We got there. So this was actually pretty comical because the main thing we were testing in this list today was the inclusion of 2 Orvar, the all form. We played 5 matches. We played against 1 deck where that card would be good. The only deck that is actually good against, and we lost that deck. We did not draw Orvar. We did not see it in either of the games post sideboard, and it didn't come up. So that could be one of 2 things. Either we're unlucky and we just didn't draw the card that we needed. It wasn't out in a couple of different instances. Or, you know, small sample, but like utilizing more of these would be the right move against that deck. But we really don't have extra sideboard slots to be contributing or to be attributed to this card. So, you know, 2 is kind of pushing it already. So my personal belief still holds true. I don't think Orvar is a good enough card to be including in a Yawgmoth sideboard. I think it is too narrow. I think you need to play tutors to be able to get it on command when you want it. And otherwise, you're just kind of like flipping a coin, closing your eyes, hoping that it's good enough. And I don't think that that's the best strategy for those matchups, for that matchup against creativity. So personally, I don't like how narrow it is, and I would not be including it in my sideboard, once again, unless you know that creativity is going to be absolutely everywhere. I would gladly go back up on a Crime Punishment. I would gladly go back up on a Necromentia, or if you're expecting creativity, maybe run 2 Necromentias instead of 2 Orvar, just because there are more applications for that card across a wider range of matchups. So that is my takeaway from this league. Gemstone Caverns, once again, never really was a drawback. Never had in our opener on the draw in this league. So I think we're still net neutral on Gemstone Caverns in terms of drawing conclusions, whether or not it is a good enough card for you to go out and run and purchase a copy of. I'm still holding off. I will let you guys know. I will continue to test it, continue to let you know if it is good enough. We're waiting patiently. So everybody, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate your support, and I appreciate your love that you show me over the course of the entirety of my time being here. I will see everybody again next time, and until then, you know the deal. Be well, everybody.